Okay, so in this video I'm going to title it Variations. So the kit comes with a range of different parts and components, and we can make some changes to the kit. Now what's really important with changes is two things. One is to think about what the change might have an effect on the car, and then write that down and then go and test it. So it's a really important part of this whole process is to say, okay, I'm going to change the wheels from small to large. What impact will that have on the car? Make a note of what we think might happen, and then do the change and then test it to see what happens. And that's a really good process to learn and get used to, and to really have a nut out what you think might be the change. So let's have a go at seeing what it's like to change the wheels and how we go about that. So here's our car, and here's our two extra wheels. Now of course we can change the big wheels to either this axle or this axle, and it might have a difference. So if we did it to the front axle, it's as simple as pulling this one apart and pulling the axle out of the wheel, and we bring back our blocks and our pushing device. So we put that on the end of the axle, and we can push on the large wheel, feed it through carefully through those two collars, and push it up and make sure it spins. And so we can say, okay, by changing the size of the front wheels, my immediate reaction is it's going to change the angle of the car. So now the front's going to be a little higher than the back. And if the car's going this way, maybe it will catch a bit more wind, and that may not be as effective as what it should be. So it's actually raised the front of the car. So then we could go outside, we could test the car with the solar panel, and away we'd go. So we could get a feel for that. So that's on the front wheels. So let's put the small wheels back. Small wheel, so pushing that on, feeding it through the collars again, pushing the other wheel on. So now we can get them spinning. So that's our front wheels. Now, if we go to change the back wheels over, there's it does take a lot more work to do. So we can carefully unscrew these small wheels, pull out our axle, but of course we have to take all these guys off. So there's the wheel, and getting these spur gears off sometimes is a little difficult. So you need to work one off at a time. And now, well actually I didn't really need to take them off at all, did I? If I was thinking about this. So let's pop them back on again. Silly me. Pop that one on, and then our other one on, lining up the hole. Push it through, and we were going to change it over to big wheels. So all I need to do was to change the wheel size over. So again, pushing down fairly firmly. Slide this through the two collars carefully, and then our wheel on the other side. So now we have the large wheels on the back of our car. So what changes have we made? So now we have the slope going the other way, so it's a bit more like a drag car, and also the difference is every time the motor makes the wheels turn around once, will it go further with the small wheels or the big wheel? So maybe that's an impact. So maybe that will have a difference. So we could measure the diameter of the wheel and then calculate the circumference of the large wheel. We could measure the diameter of the smaller wheel and calculate the circumference of the smaller wheel. And of course, if the motor makes the wheels turn 10 times, will it go further or faster with the big wheels or the little wheel? So there's another change we could think about. So we could write down some notes about what we're trying to achieve, and then we could go outside and test it. The other thing, of course, too, is that with a larger wheel, there's actually more torque involved. So the motor has to turn a bigger wheel to make it turn more easily. So again, there's a whole lot of things that are starting to happen with this model just by making a very simple change. So that's the wheel size. So we can change those around, and we can see if there's some differences there, and we can test those differences. Now, another change that we can make is the gear ratio. So at the moment, the car is set on the large cog, and to change it to the small cog, we actually have to physically lift off the double-sided tape and move the motor into the smaller cog. So that sometimes takes a bit of pulling and shoving. So I'm just twisting the motor up, and if I'm lucky, there we go. The tape is still there, so I can actually move that motor now to the smaller cog. Push it down firmly, and this tape starts to give way a little bit once you've used it a few times, but now it's lined up with the smaller cog. Is that going to have an impact on the car? So now we're talking about gear ratio. When we talk about gear ratio, we talk about the ratio of this small pinion gear to the large gear. Now, if the pinion gear, the one on the motor, has 10 teeth, so around that cog there are 10 teeth, and the large one has 60, the ratio is 6:1. So, every time the motor turns around 6 times, the big cog will turn around once. On the small cog, which has got 48 teeth, then this little pinion gear, every time it turns around 4.8 times, it'll turn around the cog once, which means the wheels will go around once. So now comes the mathematical challenge of figuring out gear ratio and the distance that these wheels will turn. So as you can start to see now, there's a whole lot of variation for this car, and of course what this is going to do is impact on the speed of the car. So you need to be thinking about what you think might happen, and then go outside and test the outcome. So that's changing around gear ratio. The other thing that you might want to do, which is a very simple one, is actually change the balance of the car by moving the wheels around. As you can see now, it's even closer to the ground. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? So the angle is changing dramatically as well. If we were racing on a track, it mightn't have enough clearance, and so now it might hit along the track, and so we'd have a friction problem, so our car wouldn't go nearly as well. Or we could cut the body off if that's allowed throughout your school, and then you'd end up with a smaller car. But then our solar panel may not fit. So there's quite a lot of variation you can do. The other thing too is, let's pop these wheels back to the beginning. So we're back on this side. We noticed when we went outside to test our car, when we turned the car on, the car moved this way. Now, if we take the red positive lead from the motor and the black one and swap them over to the solar panel, what's going to happen to the solar car now? In actual fact, it will now go the other direction. So now we'd have perhaps a front wheel drive car. And does that make a difference to the car? So with our simple solar car, what you'll find now is that with all these variations, we can actually make a lot of different changes to our car. Now there's one other variation which is quite dramatic, and we'll talk about this in another video, is the solar panel is a variable power source because the sun is never constant. And with all these exercises, it is a huge difference with the solar panel because the sun is quite different each day, and the angle of the sun and the strength of the sun can be quite different. So one other thing that you do have in your pack is a battery pack. This will give you a constant power source until the batteries go flat. So there's all sorts of other different changes that we can make. We can test with batteries, or we can test with solar panels. But herein lies the challenge of playing with these kits. And then also you can be artistic with these and turn them into a super sports car if you want to as well. So thanks for listening to the video about variations.